When it comes to having awesome moments, Zenitsu is probably on the top of our list. Zenitsu comes off as a coward, as he often claims that he doesn't have long to live due to the dangerous job of being a demon slayer. He also has rather low self-esteem despite his strength, even considering himself useless, as seen when he couldn't believe he had slain a demon and tricked himself into instead believing that it was Shoichi, even though the latter was a young child who didn't possess any form of special demon slaying ability. Zenitsu is in a constant state of fear and always cries and tries to run away at the sight of danger, claiming he wants to live a modest, normal life instead of that of a demon slayer. Due to this, Zenitsu screams and shouts a lot, sometimes annoying the people around him. But don't be mistaken, when Zenitsu falls asleep, he's one of the strongest demon slayers in the entire show. Maybe the team should have put a sleeping pill in his drink before they went on a mission. Zenitsu versus the Tongue Demon. This is actually the first time we saw Zenitsu in action, but it's one of our favorite moments. A scared Zenitsu and Shoichi wander through the house when a demon sneaks up on them. The demon corners the two in a room, and Zenitsu passes out from fear. As the demon tries to strike them, Zenitsu cuts its tongue off. While unconscious, Zenitsu quickly defeats the demon. Zenitsu wakes up with no recollection of his actions and thanks Shoichi for defeating the demon. Zenitsu versus the Spider Demon. In this moment, we get a brief look at Zenitsu's past, and we learn that Zenitsu only knows how to master the first form of thunder breathing, which he perfected so much it's the only thing he needs to use in battle. Zenitsu, Tanjiro, and Inosuke head to Mount Natagumo for their next mission. They reach their destination at night. They meet a demon slayer laying on the ground who begs them for help as he's pulled into the forest by spider threads. Out of fear, Zenitsu refuses to go into the forest. Tanjiro and Inosuke proceed without him. Zenitsu contemplates about not joining his friends, but realizes that Tanjiro took Nezuko along with him and runs in after them to protect Nezuko. While running through the forest, Zenitsu sees a human head with a spider's body. He runs away, only to stumble across the demon responsible for turning those humans into spider slaves. Zenitsu is then bit by a spider, and only has 30 minutes before he also turns into one. Zenitsu faints from fear and begins to fight while unconscious. Zenitsu has a flashback of his teacher, who encouraged and never abandoned him, and his senior disciple, who always looked down on him. Zenitsu is only able to do the first form, but honed it to perfection, defeating the demon with the thunder-breathing first form, Thunderclap and Flash sixfold. Zenitsu saves Nezuko on the Mugen train. In probably one of his funniest moments, Zenitsu saves Nezuko after she's captured by the Enmu flesh thingies. He drops in front of Nezuko and manages to not only set Nezuko free, but also the other passengers around them in a flash by using thunder-breathing first form, Thunderclap and Flash sixfold. Then, he declares that he'd protect Nezuko, and she looks on in awe. Her admiration is quickly dispelled, however, as he pops back asleep mid-sentence and begins to snore. Zenitsu in the hole. After Inosuke managed to become a worm so he could find the belt of Daki, he frees Zenitsu from it, and as he realizes the battle is not going to end because the belt is not the main body, Zenitsu appears with all of his flashiness, performing his first form sixfold to free a pretty big amount of people. Zenitsu versus Kaigaku. This is probably the most badass moment of Zenitsu in the show. After learning that Kaigaku became a demon, leading to his grandfather to commit suicide, he tries to find Kaigaku in the Infinity Castle arc to settle their grievance once and for all. He tells the demon to come out as he knows it's him. Kaigaku dislikes the lack of respect Zenitsu shows him and tells him that it's no way to talk to his senior. Zenitsu responds that because he's a demon, he no longer considers Kaigaku his senior. Kaigaku sneers at Zenitsu that he's shabby and still just a weakling, then tries to provoke him by asking if Zenitsu had become a Hashira, or if he could use anything other than Thunder Breathing's first form. Zenitsu calmly retorts that Kaigaku seemed thrilled to be the lowest rank of the upper ranks, despite the fact that he's simply filling an empty spot. Intrigued by Zenitsu's insult, Kaigaku laughs and says that he now knows how to talk back. Zenitsu wants to know why Kaigaku became a demon, since he used to be someone who was passionate about learning thunder breathing and becoming the previous Thunder Hashira's successor. He proceeds to let out his frustration on Kaigaku by telling him that he was the cause of Jigoro's, their master's, death, since Kaigaku becoming a demon was the reason he committed seppuku and died a slow, agonizing death on his own. Kaigaku says that he believes that only those who know his value are worth caring about and proceeds to mock Jigoro, calling him a senile old man. This is met with great disdain from Zenitsu. The comment Zenitsu makes towards Kaigaku enrages him, and he tells Zenitsu to not lump him into the same boat. He draws his blade and initiates the battle. Kaigaku attempts to kill Zenitsu using his blood demon art, enhanced thunder breathing, 4th form, distant thunder. Zenitsu, quick as he is, draws his sword and slashes past Kaigaku's neck, calling him trash and saying that he was too slow. Kaigaku realizes that Zenitsu is much more versatile and skilled with his swordsmanship than before. However, he still believes that no matter how much Zenitsu had trained, he can never defeat an upper rank like him. Zenitsu is then slashed by Kaigaku with the thunder-breathing 2nd form Rice Spirit. Zenitsu remarks that Kaigaku has eaten too many people and questions whether he can tell what's right from wrong, to which Kaigaku pridefully responds that he does. As Kaigaku uses the thunder-breathing 3rd form Thunder Swarm, he says that those who judge him correctly and accept him for who he is are correct, and those who don't accept him are wrong. Kaigaku then uses the thunder-breathing 5th form Heat Lightning and taunts at Zenitsu, praising his own blood demon enhanced forms. He explains that once his thunder-breathing form slashes Zenitsu's body, his skin and flesh burns and cracks apart as he uses the thunder-breathing 6th form Rumble and Flash. While falling, Zenitsu reflects on his relationship with Kaigaku from before, and reflects on how he and Kaigaku couldn't get along. He jumps onto a wall and uses his own breathing form, thunder-breathing 7th form, Honoi Kazuchi no Kami. Kaigaku is beheaded while falling, and curses Zenitsu while falling with him.